Good afternoon and welcome to the first Reporter Sports Show of 2018. We're at Bowerfold where we'll be looking at our side's action on New Year's Day, as well as looking ahead to this weekend's fixtures. We'll also be discussing the ins and outs at Oldham Athletic and talking about which of our teams may be involved in promotion pushes at the end of the season. So we'll start this week talking about Oldham Athletic, who travelled to Shrewsbury Town on New Year's Day but returned pointless after a 1-0 defeat. Since then, 6 players have left the club, and so has assistant manager Paul Jewell. So Mark, just mentioned there, 6 players left the club. Which do you think will leave, or who do you think will leave the biggest hole?
Owen Doyle, for starters, obviously came in from Preston North End in August, scored a load of goals. I think he scored 12 in 17 games, something like that, so he'll be a massive loss up front. Then you've got Jack Byrne and Keane Bryan in midfield, so they're massive losses as well. But then of course Paul Jewell's also left the club, which is bizarre. I don't understand why he's left. He only presided over 7 games, I think, but they didn't win many in that time.
Well, players have left the club, but Richie Owens has brought a new face in, Patrick McElhenney. What can you tell us about him, Lee?
Yeah, I think he's League of Ireland, isn't he? 20, 25, 26?
25,
like
yeah.
He's got Champions League experience. He helped them get to the qualifying rounds, didn't he? It's always a bit of a gamble bringing players in from League of Ireland, isn't it? I mean, it's not the best standard, but he's a bit of a playmaker. He's what Oldham needs, certainly, that type of player, someone who can create goals.
I remember when Jim Gannon brought in Peter Thompson for Stockport a fair few years ago now, I think when they were in League One, and he was pretty dismal, so hopefully he won't be anything like that.
Let's hope it's more of a James McQueen than Peter Thompson, fingers crossed. Well, Oldham make the long trip to Charlton Athletic this weekend, and they'll do so without Paul Jewell in the dugout, as we mentioned before. So Mark, a surprising resignation?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said then, presided over 7 games, didn't really pick up many victories. They seem to have gone on a downturn of form since his arrival, so maybe it was a bit of bad luck. He did bring a wealth of experience with him, Derby County, Wigan Athletic, Premier League side, so it's bizarre to see, really.
I must admit, I thought it was a strange appointment when it came about, you know, being assistant manager Richie Wellens, and it's his first time in the job. I mean, maybe he thought he was going to be more involved than he was or something like that, but we've seen a lot of players leave in a short space of time, and we know earlier this season the players weren't getting paid, so there might be something strange going on there.
Yeah, there could be more to it than meets the eye, but hopefully not.
Well, there's rumours circulating on social media last night that Richie Owens has got players ready to come in, but they can't until the much sort of speculated takeover actually takes place.
Yeah, hopefully this takeover does take place, because then they'll get the much needed funds. I mean, they need to bring players in.
We've been hearing about this takeover for months now, haven't we? When's it finally going to get across the line?
We don't know, do we? Maybe it is all speculation, nothing ever materialises.
Well, let's hope it's sooner rather than later. Looking into next week, Oldham host Leicester City under-23s in the Checkatrade Trophy 3rd round. But we'll move into Tameside now and talk about Curzon Ashton. The Nash hosted Bradford Park Avenue on New Year's Day and snatched a late equaliser through Sam Madeley. Mark, I know you were at the game. Did they deserve that point, Curzon?
Performance-wise, definitely not. Probably one of the poorer performances I've seen this season from Curzon. But in terms of endeavour and effort to battle through them horrible conditions, they absolutely deserved it. So I think all in all, a point on the day was a fair result.
Well, Curzon make the trip to AFC Stalybridge United this weekend, and it's quite a big game for both teams.
Yeah, big game, and one Curzon needs to win because Telford have got 2 games in hand on Curzon, so they need to put some points between them and Telford. The one player they will have to be worried about is Max Leonard, who left Curzon to join Telford over Christmas, so we'll know what they're all about.
Yeah, definitely. Like Lee said then, it's a massive game for Telford, because if they do have playoff ambitions this season, then at a minimum they do have to win both these games. That's my opinion anyway.
Well, Curzon opened their doors on Christmas Day last month to the less advantaged people in the community, and you can see a full report on the day on the back page of this week's Tameside Reporter. We'll move into the Evo Stick Premier Division now and talk about Stalybridge Celtic, who ended a 4-game losing run with a massive 5-2 win over Lancaster City on New Year's Day. A surprising result, Mike.
Yeah, surprising result. Fell behind in that game, so to respond in the way they did at home, magnificent. But then again, they've been brilliant at home all season. It's just their away form that let them down. You know, they've not won away from home all season. That tells its own story.
Well, we're going on to that. I mean, they're fantastic here in the beautiful surrounds of Bowerfold, but whenever they get on the road, they just can't seem to do it. I mean, a draw is the only point they've picked up away from home all season. I mean, they had one postponed over Christmas. I'm pretty sure they were pretty happy about that.
Yeah, they did. I mean, on Boxing Day, I think they were meant to go to Ashton United. That game was called off at 1:45 p.m, I think, waterlogged pitch. And then I think it was Saturday the 30th, they were meant to play at Shaw Lane. That was called off as well. So a few postponements over the Christmas period. Maybe it did them some good.
Well, the good thing now is, now they're in 2018, fresh slate, hopefully they can turn it around and just take it as a new year.
Yeah, hopefully that win over Lancaster will prove to be a catalyst.
Well, Lytton Albion are the visitors to Bowerfold this weekend. The pitch is looking quite good, Lee. It's a big game if it goes ahead.
Yeah, huge game. I mean, they've won 7, drawn 1 and lost 5. Whitton are on the back of a 4-3 victory over Altrincham on Monday, so they're going to be challenging for the playoffs this season. So, huge game for Bridget. We're near the bottom.
Yeah, what a huge fixture that was for Whitton over Altrincham. Altrincham flying high this season. I think they won that game in the 88th minute. They had to come from behind as well, so they'll enter this game full of confidence.
Well, elsewhere in the Evo Stick Premier Division, Ashton United's game at Buxton was called off due to floodlight failure on New Year's Day, with Jodie Banning's side 1-0 up, so bitterly disappointing for the Robins.
Yeah, massively disappointing. Going to Buxton at any point of the year, a very difficult task. 2 playoff contenders this season, so to go a goal up and then have it called off due to floodlight failure, not even anything to do with the pitch, must have been a bit of pill to swallow.
But we, Ashton, will be hoping to continue their assault on the playoffs at home to Marine this weekend.
Well, yeah, Marine aren't a great team this season, are they? I mean, they've lost 2 and drawn 1, I think, over the festive period. Yeah. So it's a perfect chance for Jodie Banning's side to continue their assault on the playoffs. I mean, I think we all think they can make it to the playoffs this season again, don't we?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I mean, they've made it the past few seasons. Let's hope they can go one better this year.
I mean, looking at Marine, they're awful this season, but they were also awful last season. I'm sure that they'll just be happy that there's only one team that goes down this season.
Well, let's move into the Evo Stick First Division North, where 3 of our 4 teams are in playoff contention. We'll start with Droylsden, who were named Team of the Month mark in December. Very well deserved. Yeah,
well deserved. You look at the record over December, absolutely fabulous. They didn't lose one game, won quite a few, which has pushed them well into the playoffs now. I think they'll more than challenge for a playoff spot this season. You look at goal scorers, Kieran Kilheeney scored 10, Liam Caddick's on 13, so they've got a lot of firepower up front.
Well, Droylsden play Scarborough this weekend, Lee. This will show us if they really are playoff contenders.
Well, it's huge, isn't it? I mean, there's 4 points between them, I think, at the minute, and this can really show if they've got what it takes to be in the playoffs. I mean, we've been talking about Hyde United a lot this season. We're in the same division and look like they could be heading for the title, but Droylsden have sort of gone under the radar, I think, a little bit. Picked up some fantastic results in December and November. They've got Liam Caddick on fire, who's in the hunt for the Golden Boot. Kieran Kilheeney's back at Droylsden and knocking him in. You know, it's a good time to be a Bloods fan.
I tell you what, if results go in Droylsden's favour over the course of the next few months, they might have a shot at the title this season. What a fantastic achievement that'd be.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
It's a big call. If Droylsden do win this weekend, it'll do a favour for Hyde United, who started 2018 off in the best possible way with a 2-0 win over Glossop North End, thanks to goals from Tom Pratt and Luke Porritt. So, Mark, Hyde, what, title or playoffs?
I've just said Droylsden for the title then, but no, realistically I think Hyde will take the title this season.
Do you think it's between them and South Shields?
Yeah, let's not forget, they've not played South Shields this season yet, so there's 6 points to be taken.
27th of January, I believe, up in the North East.
That should be a massive game. Obviously, if Hyde do have title ambitions this season, they've got to go up there and come back with 3 points, but it's certainly going to be an exciting end to the season.
Well, we know Hyde have got plenty of firepower up top, but a new addition this week by Darren Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, he's brought in Marcus Marshall and from Alfton. It's a bit of a strange one for me. I'm not really sure why, because they've been fantastic up front all season, Hyde. You know, has he brought him in for a bit of competition? Maybe. I mean, he's played in the Championship, this fella.
He's an experienced guy.
Well, that's what I mean. He's experienced. He's been around. Maybe he's to push the lads in training a little bit.
Exactly. I think you've nailed it there. I think it's to make sure the lads don't rest on the laurels, because if you're banging goals in for fun, maybe you'll become a little bit lacklustre. So hopefully he'll provide some much needed competition.
Could do.
Well, Hyde host bottom club Gould this weekend, so we're thinking it's a, I don't want to jinx them, but we're thinking it's a home banker.
Yeah, let's not jinx them. But could be the biggest win of the season, like.
They got a point at Droylsden early in the season, Gould.
No, I think Hyde will want to fill the boots this weekend. Certainly, you know, get a bit of confidence, get a run up in for 2018 and push themselves. I mean, because South Shields look like they're slipping a little bit.
Yeah, they have. They've had a few poor results, haven't they?
I think this one's Hyde for the taking now. I mean, we all thought South Shields were going to run away with the league earlier last year, but I think it's Hyde for the win.
Let's not forget South Shields earlier in the season. They scraped a victory over Mossley, didn't they, at Seal Park? And that's after they had to come from behind in that game.
That was a great performance by Mossley, though. Let's not take anything away from them.
Yeah, it was.
Well, let's talk about Mossley now, who were hoping to end a 3-game winless run at home to Bamber Bridge this weekend. So we think Mossley are probably too far away from the playoffs to be considered contenders, but a win this weekend would help Hyde and Droylsden.
Yeah, it's just about picking up points now for Mossley, isn't it? If they get on a good run of form, maybe they will just edge their way into the playoff spots, but but they are outsiders.
I think the thing for Mossley is as long as they keep improving every season now, that's what they want, isn't it? I mean, keep building, keep improving. It's a good setup up at Seal Park, so as long as they're moving in the right direction, I think it's positive for them.
Well, last but not least, we'll talk about Glossop North End, who are also set up for a playoff push, although they sit 5 points outside the playoff zone at the minute. They host Radcliffe Borough this weekend, so a big game if they do want to be considered contenders.
Oh, it's huge, isn't it? I mean, they've got to win this one.
Yeah.
Radcliffe Borough are really struggling. They're down in 19. I think they've only won once in 11 games. You know, they're going to need Ben Deegan. I mean, he scored his 10th goal of the season in that 5-0 victory. So, I mean, it's a big chance for them.
Yeah, it's been strange for Glossop, hasn't it? Lee just mentioned it then, 5-0 victory over Skelmersdale United, but then they were beaten 2-0 by Hyde on New Year's Day, and by all accounts I wasn't at the game. They were leagues apart in terms of quality, so hopefully Glossop can put a run of results together and force their way into the playoffs as well.
Well, good luck to all our teams in action this weekend. That's all we've got time for this week, but don't forget, for a more in-depth roundup of sport across the borough, you can tune into the Sporting Spotlight tonight on Tameside Radio with myself, Lee, Mark and Adam.